There we are. We are live talking to Peter Cameron from my classroom with media and digital literacies at Lakehead University in Aurelia. So welcome, Peter.
Thank you very much, Ellen. Thanks for having me. And hello to all the teacher candidates as well. You're in for a great, rewarding cheer.
Hold on, technical glitch at this end. Can you press play on the video? Yes. And that should... Perfect. We're live. Hold on, technical glitch at this end. Can you press play on the video? Yes. And that should... Perfect. We're live. Hold on, technical glitch at this end. Can you press play on the video? Yes. And that should... Okay, we're still having some technical glitches. Let me mute the... Okay. It could be because I'm in the same room that we're projecting from. We've got feedback loop. Okay, hold on.
Is it lagging?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to move out of the room, and we'll see how we can go. Keep everybody in the loop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you get to see Lakehead University. Okay, go ahead and talk, and we'll see how this works.
Okay. So I'm just wondering if they're hearing me now. I'm going to assume that the teacher candidates are, so I'll continue. So thanks, Helen, for having me. And I just want to say to all the teacher candidates that you're very fortunate to have Helen as your prof. She is a pioneer, really, as far as ed profs in the faculties. So Helen asked me today to talk a little bit about my sense of what a connected class is. And I've done a number of different workshops and presentations on the connected classroom. I think it's really important that teachers understand that the term connected and connectedness is used very loosely. And I wonder really what the teacher candidates think when they hear the term being connected. And I think it's important, especially for my students in grade 5 and 6, and really for all of us to remind ourselves that the most important connections are closest to us. So in this digital age of everything at our fingertips, I start my school year with really having the kids connect with themselves first and truly having a sense of themselves. And I think it's important that we all have a sense of ourselves in this digital age. And so I spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year having the kids goal set. We do a one-word project. And then it's important to have the kids get to know one another and to build a sense of community within your classroom. And then from there, I really focus on connecting with parents. And I use a blog and Twitter and an app called Remind that really brings the parents literally into the classroom, and they get to see kind of what's going on a daily basis within my grade 5-6 class. They follow us on Twitter, or they'll get Remind notifications. And then when their children come home, the conversation can continue and the learning doesn't stop at the classroom door. And I think I've done a lot of blogging and shared a lot of thoughts on homework. I don't assign traditional homework anymore. It's more of what I call a home share, and having the kids go home and sharing with their parents what they've done in the classroom. And then they'll go out. I did a math problem with my kids. We're working on reading large numbers. So the kids had to go home and go with their parents into their vehicle and look at the odometer reading and read that number, and then they brought their odometer readings back to the classroom. We compared them. We had them write them in standard form and expanded form and whatnot. So it's really making that math relevant as well, and bringing in that family connection.
One of my students noticed that you had tweeted out the homework assignment. How do parents respond to your use of Twitter that way?
Yeah, I tweet out a homework assignment every day, and parents understand that they don't have to be on Twitter to follow the happenings within our classroom. They just have to Google my Twitter feed, and the result's been really positive as well. So kids might forget that they have a home share to do, but really when they only have one thing to do, it kind of narrows it down. And then parents as well are going onto the feed and checking out. And sometimes it's not even a home share assignment from me, but the parents have seen that we're reading Paddle to the Sea, so they might continue a conversation with their kids. And I think really the most important connection that we need to establish is with our parents, and I think that's really important for everybody to understand. Helen, did you have another question?
Actually, yeah, one of my students was asking about how you balance the connected teaching and being connected as an individual or personal connections. We read the blog post that you tweeted out earlier or just on the weekend, asking for some feedback on being a connected educator and some of the struggles and issues and challenges. How do you balance that?
Having a good sense of self first, right? Your most important connection is yourself. So yeah, it is about balance. And the first 15 years of my career, my closest connection were the people within my school building. And my wife is a teacher also within our school in Thunder Bay. And you have to be careful as well. The more connected you become, you run the risk of becoming disconnected as well. So I'm also, I love the outdoors. We have to really, really be focused on being balanced as well. And so, being in nature with my family in the outdoors is very important to me. The phones go away, the laptops go away. There's a time and a place for connecting. I'm not on Facebook. I use Twitter for professional reasons. If I want to connect with my friends, I'll do it over the phone, or typically over a supper and a meal. And I can tell you as well, with my friends, the phones for the most part go away as well. So yeah, we have to model it. We have to model it for our kids as well. And it's not easy, but it's something that we have to be cognizant of. And I'm about using technology as a powerful tool and being cognizant of when we're using it. For example, today, right now, this conversation I'm having with you, yes, it's after hours. But my family's upstairs and they understand that. But then after this conversation, the laptop will close and I'll be spending time at a music lesson with my son. So yeah, it's a different world that we live in for sure. But I can say it's easier in some senses. But now there's so much information. It's a matter of filtering as well.
And that was one of the comments that we talked about with Twitter. There really are some issues with filtering. So it's nice that you mentioned that. So you have a lot of places that you connect professionally. What are the ones that that you use to promote or to kind of enhance your own professional growth?
Yeah, good question too, because there are now so many tools. I would say that, and again, I have to remind you that I've been teaching for 23 years in the same school, in the same classroom. I know my curriculum really, really well. I teach grade 5 and 6, so I have that liberty as well. So I would suggest to teacher candidates, it's one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed with trying to do everything. But I can honestly say that for me, it's Twitter. And I think you, Helen, as well, will hear almost every educator who is connected say that it is Twitter. And I even have a hard time actually believing that I'm saying it, because 5 years ago, you would have never found me on social media. But Twitter is that tool that educators use to share and to learn and challenge one another. And that's how Helen and I found each other, really, right? So yeah, it's Twitter for sure that I would
Yeah.
recommend. And it takes time, and it takes patience, and follow a few educators, and you will quickly see that they are sharing for the good of the education community, really. You're not alone in this profession.
Thank you so much, Peter, for taking time tonight to chat and to connect with my class again. Really appreciate taking the time, and hopefully we'll connect tomorrow night on the On-Ed Ontario Educator Chat.
Well, that's tomorrow. That's right. Yeah, I'm running a Twitter chat tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. And I never got to the second part of the connections, where you can bring your students and connect them with people throughout the world. But you know what? That's all in my slide deck, and you can follow that as well. So
thank you very much. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Not a problem.
Let's stay connected.